Okay, let's dive into this. I want you to close your eyes for a second. Picture the year 2026. We are standing at this very strange, very noisy crossroads in the music world. We've just finished wading through a massive stack of material, specifically the grand finale of this documentary series, The Trance Story.
Ep.5, The Future. It's a heavy one.
It is a heavy one. And if you thought you knew what trance music was, big, cheesy melodies, fast beats, hands in the air, maybe a laser or two, well, the reality in 2026 is a lot more complicated.
Complicated is definitely the right word.
I mean, the sources describe the genre right now as being nostalgic and innovative at the same time.
Yeah, which sounds like a total contradiction.
Right. How can you be looking backwards and sprinting forward simultaneously? So what does it all mean? Is the genre dead? Has it fractured? Or has it just turned into something else?
It's a fascinating moment to look at. If we sort of take a step back, the 30,000-foot view from this documentary.
Right.
The headline isn't that trance is dead. That's way too simple. It's lazy, frankly. The real headline is that trance has bifurcated.
Bifurcated.
It's split in two. It's like this classic biological case of evolution versus preservation. On one hand, you have this massive mainstream movement that's drifted one way slower, darker, more commercial. And then, almost as a reaction, you've got this incredibly resilient, high-speed niche that has just dug its heels in.
And that's the hook, right? Because usually when we talk about music history in these deep dives, we're talking about a genre just fading away.
Like disco or something.
Exactly, or getting replaced by the next big thing. But this deep dive suggests trance didn't fade. It just, decided to live in two different houses.
And the neighbors don't speak to each other very much.
No, they definitely don't. On one side, you have the giants, the names everyone knows, slowing things down. But on the other, you have this rallying cry for speed, a weird integration of AI, and somehow Coldplay fits into this puzzle.
Coldplay fitting into a conversation about underground trance is exactly the kind of chaos I live for.
We will get to the pop stars, I promise. But first, let's map the territory, this great divide. The documentary points squarely at the commercial giants.
Armin van Buuren and Above and Beyond.
The Godfathers. They built the empire. But in 2026, they aren't really playing trance in that old school sense anymore, are they?
No, not in the strict definition. And you have to look at the market dynamics here to really get it.
It's not just an artistic choice.
Not at all. It's economics. The source explains that these major acts have moved heavily toward melodic progressive and melodic techno.
Okay, let's define that. For anyone listening who just hears electronic music and thinks it's all the same, what is the actual shift happening here?
It's largely about tempo and vibe. Traditional trance is fast, usually 138 beats per minute or higher. It's frantic. It demands your attention. What Armin and Above and Beyond are doing in 2026 is slower.
Slower.
It's groovier. It sits around 124, maybe 126 BPM.
Why, though? Why the shift? Did they just get older and want to chill out?
It's about context. The documentary argues it's about where the music is consumed. Fast trance works on a massive festival stage with fireworks. But melodic techno, that fits on a Spotify playlist. It fits in a VIP bottle service club where people want to look cool and nod their heads, not, sweat through their shirts.
That's where the money went.
That's where the money went, so that's where the big acts went.
Okay, so if you go see Armin in 2026, you're getting a slicker, slower sound. But, and here's the friction. There was a reaction to that, a counter movement. The source highlights this thing called Who's Afraid of 138.
Oh, I love this history. It's almost accidental.
It was just a sub-brand Armin himself created years ago, wasn't it? Like a little side project.
It started almost as a joke, a tongue-in-cheek reference to the BPM, Who's Afraid of 138, implied that 138 was, scary fast for the radio.
Right.
But in the context of 2026, the doc describes it as a full-blown rallying cry for the underground. It's the banner for the 138 movement.
It's the resistance. It's basically saying, you guys go play your slow, cool stuff. We're staying right here at breakneck speed.
And it's not just stubbornness. It's about serving that core fan base. The source lists some key players keeping this sound alive. People like Ben Nevis, Alex DiStefano, photographer.
I saw Simon Patterson, Brian Kearney, and John Askew mentioned too.
The tech trance heavyweights. Yeah.
These are not guys trying to get on pop radio. They're not angling for a Vegas residency playing backdown music.
Absolutely not. They are servicing this very distinct need for energy. This is the true sound the documentary talks about.
138 to 140 BPM.
Fast, aggressive, euphoric. It's for the dance floor, period. Not the car ride home.
But is it a viable scene? Or is it just a few guys in a basement? Because, sometimes underground just means unpopular.
Oh, it's viable. It's thriving. The source points out that while the mainstream is slowing down, psytrance, which is even faster, hasn't slowed down at all.
Psytrance is intense. I listened to a clip from the source material and my heart rate went up just sitting here.
It is. We're talking 145 BPM plus, relentless bass lines. And the data here is crucial. Psytrance is dominating huge festivals. Boom in Portugal, Ozora in Hungary.
Tens of thousands of people.
Tens of thousands. So the argument is that the fast trance never died. It just went niche. It became a specialized product for a specialized audience.
A purity movement.
That's the exact phrase the expert in the documentary used. While the rest of the world chills out, these fans want that adrenaline spike.
It creates a sustainable ecosystem then, doesn't it? You have the mainstream feeding the masses with slower stuff.
And you have this hardcore layer underneath, keeping the roots intact.
It's symbiotic, even if they pretend to hate each other.
Exactly. The mainstream brings new people in, and eventually some of those people want something harder, faster, and they find the underground.
Okay, speaking of the mainstream, let's dig into this melodic techno thing. The source calls it the aesthetic child of trance. Now, is it trance or is it techno or just a marketing label?
This is one of those semantic debates that drives people crazy, but it says a lot. The source argues that while the beat pattern might technically be techno,
slower, different kick drum, maybe a bit darker.
Right, but the elements on top are pure trance.
Okay, walk me through the elements. If I dissect one of these tracks, what am I finding?
You're finding long, emotional builds. You're finding massive breakdowns where the beat stops completely. That is a signature trance move.
100%.
A heavy focus on synthesizer melodies that get stuck in your head, those hands in the air moments. Techno, historically, is repetitive, hypnotic. Trance is a story, it's a journey. Melodic techno uses the techno groove, but the trance narrative.
Yeah, it looks like a duck, and it quacks like a duck. But they're calling it a swan because swans are cooler right now.
That is a very accurate summary. The key artists mentioned are Tale of Us, Stephen Baz, and Art Bat. If you listen to their big tracks, the emotional payoff, the drop, is the exact same mechanism as an old Tiesto track from 2002.
It's just wearing a different jacket.
A sleek black leather jacket instead of a neon t-shirt. Exactly.
But the source poses a tough question about this. Is this evolution or is it dilution? Are we watering down the genre or are we watching it grow up?
The documentary takes a pretty firm stance on evolution.
Yeah.
And I tend to agree with them.
Why?
Music doesn't respect our little boxes and labels. The argument is that the feeling trance pioneered, that specific kind of emotional electronic music, is what's surviving. It's just wearing a different outfit.
The vibe is the only rule.
Right. If the label changes, but the listener closes their eyes and feels that same rush, then the mission is accomplished. Doesn't matter what you write on the flyer.
That makes a lot of sense. But let's pivot to something that definitely wasn't around back then, technology. Specifically AI.
The big, scary robot in the room.
The source asks the big question. Can AI make trance? I mean, in 2026, AI is doing everything from writing code to painting pictures. Where does it stand with music like this?
This is where we get into the weeds a bit. In 2026, the answer is a nuanced yes, but. The source material suggests AI is incredibly good at patterns. It knows what a chord progression is. It can generate melodies that are, mathematically pleasing. It can even help with arrangement, telling you, hey, this is where the bass line should drop out.
So it can write the sheet music. It gets the theory.
It can build the structure. But the but here is huge. It currently lacks the ability to replicate the emotional arc.
Define emotional arc for me. Because isn't a chord progression emotional?
Not on its own. Trance is all about tension and release. It's about holding an audience in suspense during a breakdown and then releasing them at the exact right moment.
Oh, okay.
That needs an understanding of human psychology, of anticipation. The doc argues that AI is a tool, a powerful one, but it can't feel the why. It doesn't know why that minor chord shift makes you feel a certain way. It just knows it's a minor chord.
It's the difference between a house and a home. You can build the walls, but you can't architect the feeling of warmth.
That's a great analogy. The AI can build a house perfectly, but it can't make it feel lived in.
So we're not at the point where a robot is headlining a festival and making people cry yet.
Not yet. But the tools are being used to help humans get there faster. It's an assistant, not a replacement. A very, very efficient studio assistant who never sleeps.
There's another piece of tech mentioned that I found really cool. Spatial audio, Dolby Atmos. I usually think of that for movies, you know?
Helicopters flying over your head.
Yeah. But for trance?
If you think about it, trance is the perfect genre for this. It's always been about immersion. It's psychedelic by its very nature.
The source describes this so vividly. It says, imagine the atmospheric pads wrapping around you like a blanket.
Right. Instead of the sound just coming from two speakers, the main synth lead might be coming from above you. The kick drum is anchored right in the center of your chest. And the arpeggios, the fast melodies, are actually swirling through 3D space.
That sounds incredibly intense, especially during a breakdown.
That's the point. The breakdown is that moment of silence and anticipation. In stereo, it's great. In spatial audio, it becomes a physical experience.
You're not just listening to it, you're inside it.
You're inside it. The expert in the source says it's the next logical step. If the goal is to get lost in the music, this removes the last barrier.
It changes the whole hands in the air thing if the sound is literally up in the air with them.
It connects right back to transcendence, doesn't it? We use tech to get closer to a spiritual experience. Louder speakers in the 90s, spatial audio in 2026, same goal.
Now, we talked melodic techno, but the source lists some really unexpected fusions. This is the stuff that makes purists scream and, well, makes me want to click play. We've got trance step.
Trance and drum and bass.
Which just sounds chaotic.
It is, but it works. You take the euphoric melodies of trance and you put them over that frantic, broken beat of drum and bass. It's a wild combination.
And then there's trance and dubstep and ambient trance for meditation. But the one that really caught my eye, the pop crossover. Specifically, the source points a finger at Coldplay.
The track Higher Power, yep.
They claim it has trance DNA. Now, Coldplay is about as mainstream as you can get. Is that a reach?
I don't think it's a reach at all. If you strip away Chris Martin's vocals and just listen to the synth textures, the arpeggios, the way the pads swell.
They're not wrong.
They're not wrong. It's undeniable.
Why does that matter, though? Who cares what Coldplay is doing?
It matters because it shows the sound hasn't just gone underground. It's seeped into the groundwater of pop music. Trance elements are in hip-hop, pop, commercials. It's everywhere, even if it's not labeled. The DNA is spread.
Okay, so on one hand, you've got Coldplay in stadiums. On the other, back in the clubs, you've got this trend of hybrid live sets. Artists like Artie, Andrew Bayer, Sonny Lax. What is a hybrid live set in 2026?
This is a direct reaction against that push-play DJ culture. For years, the criticism was that DJs were just standing there twisting a knob that wasn't even plugged in.
The Jesus pose, just waiting for the drop.
Exactly. Hands up, doing nothing. A hybrid set means they are bringing hardware synthesizers, keyboards, into the DJ booth. They are playing melodies live over the tracks.
So that's risky?
It's incredibly risky. You can hit a wrong note, a cable can come unplugged, your system can crash.
But that's the whole point, isn't it?
That is entirely the point. The source argues this is electronic music reclaiming performance. It adds spontaneity. It's more like seeing a real band.
Right.
And for a genre like trance that is so melodic, it makes perfect sense. You want to see the artist actually creating that melody in front of you. You want to see them working for it.
It brings the human element back, which loops perfectly back to the AI discussion. If a human is playing live, you know it's not an algorithm.
Precisely. It's a defense mechanism against the robots. It's about authenticity. In a world of deepfakes, seeing a human hit a wrong note is almost comforting. It proves it's real.
So let's zoom out. We've looked at the split, the tech, the fusions. We have to ask the ultimate question the documentary poses in its finale, the existential one. Will trance exist in 20 or 50 years?
The source gives a resounding yes. But, and it's a big caveat.
Yeah.
The name might change.
Names always change.
They do. It might be called progressive breaks or melodic techno or, I don't know, neo-euphoria, something we haven't invented yet. But the core function will remain.
And what is that function? I think this is the most insightful part of the whole thing.
Transcendence. The expert in the doc synthesizes this into a philosophical argument. Humans have a fundamental need to get out of their heads.
A release valve.
A total release valve. We live in a world that is constantly pinging us with anxiety and data. We crave connection. We crave elevation. As long as people want music that makes them feel part of something bigger, that lifts them up, this style of music will endure.
The vibe is the only rule.
The vibe is the only rule. It's not about a drum pattern or a BPM. It's about what it does to your brain chemistry. Does it make you close your eyes and lift your hands?
Then it's trance.
Then it's trance, whether it's played by a pop band or a guy in a dark basement.
So, to wrap this up, we've gone from the origins in Frankfurt and Goa through the golden age of Tiesto, the whole ASOT phenomenon, and landed here. in 2026.
It's been a journey from a small subculture to a global explosion, and now to a mature, complex ecosystem. You have niches for the diehards, you have the evolved sound for the masses.
And the key takeaway seems to be that labels just don't matter as much as we think they do. If it gives you that feeling, it's doing its job.
Exactly. But there's one final thought I want to leave you with. It's something the source hinted at during the AI discussion, and it's a bit provocative.
Lay it on us.
Okay, so we established that right now, today, AI can't replicate the emotional arc. It can't mimic the soul.
Right.
But technology moves fast, exponentially fast. What if, in 10 years, an AI learns to perfectly replicate that emotional arc?
Okay.
If it can analyze millions of tracks and mathematically determine exactly how to make you cry, exactly how to give you that euphoric rush, maybe better than any human ever could, will we still care about the human intent behind it?
That is a terrifying thought.
If the robot makes you feel transcendence, is the feeling any less real? Or is the human element just a story we tell ourselves to feel special?
Can a machine engineer a soul? I guess we'll have to wait for the 2036 documentary for that one.
I'll be watching.
Thanks for listening to this deep dive. We'll catch you on the next one.